Okay, so good afternoon, guys. So we're going to continue from where we stopped. Hopefully today we'll be able to round up our Storezy application, right? Understanding GetX state management. So yeah, in the last class we were able to kind of set up a few things, the store controller, and a few other things necessary. So today we'll just we'll create the necessary pages that we are supposed to have. I know some of you guys have already done that, so I'm just going to quickly do mine and then, you know, populate it with the actual data and, make use of the controller. So we're going to create all these pages, right? We'll do that very, very quickly. And yeah, we should, like I said, we should actually round up this application today. So let's just get right to it. Um, so I have a folder screen, so I'm just going to let's so we have the Okay, let's follow it in order. We have the change store name. So I'm going to call this change store name dot right? Um so let me just create I'm basically going to use what was it called? Stateless widget, of course. So let me just create one. Uh let's see if this will actually just my system is actually lagging a bit, so okay, so while I wait for it, let's just create some other files I will need. So we need the add followers, right? Dot dart. Then so these increment followers, right? Let's call that increment followers. If I spelled that well. Was dart. Um, then we have store status. So the store status dot dart and reviews, right? So add reviews dot dart. Okay, so we'll start with the store status, right? To kind of change the name, right? Currently what we have here is Storezy, but just to be able to change, the name of the status, right? So let's see if we are back. Okay, good. So stateless widgets, I'm going to call that store name, right? So I'm just going to do this quickly, right? So return a scaffold. So take an app bar. Um, so so for the title, let's just give it a, let's say, update store name, right? So it's possible the store name needs to change, right? That's just what we're going to give for the app bar. We're not really, you know, looking much at UI. So the body, I want the body to be a container, right? And then the child of this container will be a column, right? That has children. Okay, and then so basically let's say okay, let's just give it text. More like a label kind of thing, right? That would say enter store name, right? I'm not really going to do much of styling, right? Because we don't really have much time for that. So I'm just going to add a sized box, right? This is just to create a space between the text and, you know, the input field we need, which we created. We created a widget, if I'm not mistaken. So we have this rounded input, and then of course the hints we're going to pass there is store name, store name. That's just going to be the hint, right? And then yeah, we'll just need that for now. And then let's get this another spacing. So I'm going to use a button now. So can use let's use an elevated button. Okay. So for now this will be empty, and then the child will just use a text, right? That says updates. Yeah. So this is just a simple stuff. I'm not actually doing any styling, right? I'm not doing any styling there. Now, so we need to be able to kind of navigate to that screen, right? We need to be able to navigate to that screen. But well, should I just maybe we should design all of them before we do that, or we just go straight into, kind of doing that, or well, so but let's just set that up. Let's set it up once and for all. So I'm going to go to my main um yeah, this is it. So let's add, kind of the pages. So we don't have this home two anymore. Okay, we do, but I'm kind of just going to delete that. We just used this to um, you know, explain a few things, right? So what we did was store status. So I'll just call it store name, right? Say store name, and then the page is or the uh s- store status. Let's see. Okay, no, not store status. Change store name. So it's store name. That's the name of the page. So I'm just gonna close some of these things, right? But I'll leave the nav drawer. Rounded debut card. Okay, so okay, and then import this. Okay, so let's just kind of make things look a bit small. Listen. Okay, so we have this, right? We have this. So we have the page and the whole, like, we have our stop our binding, right? Which actually of course initializes our controller, right? So now the only thing I'm going to just check is to now make sure that when we click on the um nav drawer, so I think we have an error here. Okay. So when we click on the nav drawer, it should take us to the actual page, right? It should take us to the actual what page. So this is where we have it here. So for the on tap, we need to close the drawer and then go to, another screen. So that was kind of like a, task for you, which, I think you guys implemented, right? But so to go there, I'm just going to use the get. So I'm going to say get dot off and to named, right? I'm going to say get dot off and then to name that, and then I'm going to pass in the route name, which is so let's test this out. So what does this actually do, right? So it's kind of like a shortcut for your navigation.pop and push named. So it's to pop the current named page, which is the store name, and then push, which is the home, right? That's the current page. To pop it, and then pushes the new page to the stack in its what place. That's basically that. So it's kind of like um, it's like your pop and push what named. Okay, so I think I've saved that. Um, so let's check this out. Okay, so yeah, that didn't work. So let's check to confirm that. Um, so store name. Then let's check this to be sure. Okay. 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 So that's that. Hope I'm not making a mistake. So let's see. Excuse me. Let me refresh that again. Or I'm just going to do a restart, right? Since we have added um we've added a route. So let's just do a restart and be sure. So stock controller has been initialized, thing and that, okay. Um, so we are on to change store name, right? Okay, good. So yeah, this is just what we have, right? Okay. So this is what we have, which is where is it? Yeah, right. So like I said, we're not, we're not really so focused about the UI and everything. So just take note of that. Right. Okay. So let's just implement the functionality, right, for this. Right. Let's implement the functionality for this. So how do we get to update the store name? Right? How do we get to actually what to do that? Now we have created some functions already in our store controller. So first of all, we need to get this what store what controller. Now, but because we have used binding, all you need to do is to just find it, right? All you just need to do is to what find it. So I'm going to say final store controller, right? Say get.find. And what do we want it to find? Okay, so we need to import get package here. So what do we want it to find? It should find the store what controller. Store. Okay, so I have to take out this const. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically that. So we want to what find this what controller, right? So with this controller now, what can we do? So this is enter store name. This is just like a text. Like if I wrap this um this column, if I do a what's it called? Cross as this alignment and say cross as this alignment dot start, right? That should just push things to the left, right? Okay. So we have an issue somewhere in our main dot start. Okay, so yeah, we took out the const. So let's head back there. Okay, prefer a hot restart instead. Okay, so it prefers a hot restart instead of a reload. So let's restart that. So you can just add the padding, but like I said, we're not really focused on the UI. Um, yeah, we're not so focused on the UI. Okay, so okay, yeah, so that just moves things to the left. Okay, so now what do we need? We actually need to get, whatever the user is going to type. We need to be able to get the user input, and of course, what you make use of the what controller. We already have the controller, and this is just that it is not required, but we still have access to it, right? Um, so with the controller now, I can have access to whatever the user types. So how do I do? I'm going to say store controller. which we created, right? Dot um store name editing controller. So what we're basically saying is, you know what, uh, take this. So we're just assigning, we already created an a text editing controller here called store name, right? So that will actually just get the user, whatever the user inputs, and it's going to store it in this, variable here, right? Now, yeah, so that's just that. That's just to get it, right? That's just to get it. Now, once we have gotten that what value, what do we do with it? Now we already have a function. So store controller dot update store name, and then you have to pass in a name, right? So that name that what are we passing in is the what store controller dot this name store name editing controller dot text. So this will give you the actual string that the user typed, right? That's going to give you the actual string that the user typed. Now I want to kind of show a snack bar, right? I want to show a snack bar so that the user gets to know that, okay, fine, this updating has actually taken place. So GetX actually offers that. Just say get dot snack bar, right? And then you pass in the title, I'll just say updated, and then pass in the message, right? So for a message, I can just say um store name has been updated successfully to now I kind of want to go to the next line here. So I'll just use this to represent a new line, right? To now I want to display what the user actually what typed, right? So what I'm going to do, right? What I'm going to do is this. I'm kind of going to separate things, right? So I'm going to have this, um, sorry, and I want to access, store controller dot the store name editing controller dot text. So this will give me access to that text because I want to, kind of, yeah. So I want you to read store name has been successfully updated to then whatever the user types. One more thing about the snack bar for the GetX is you can choose a snack position, which is where do you want your snack bar to actually what show up. So we have a class, snack position. Yeah, snack position. So you either want it at the bottom or at the top. Of course, bottom seems more, you know, logical. So let's just check our update store name function. So this is basically what it does. It takes the name and then it just passes it into this store name. And what's this store name? It's just a string, right? But it's an observable, right? It's an observable what string, right? So let's refresh this or reload. I hope reload is going to do the job, else we'll restart. So what are we supposed to do? So let's type in, so before it was Storezy, sorry. Here it was Storezy. So let's change it to Storezy with about 4 Ys. So I'm going to click on update, and then you can see store name has been updated successfully to that, right? And if you go back, okay, you can see now this is updated. Why? Because on this home screen, we are using an observer, we're using an OBX. If we come here, let's see, that should be our home. The OBS listens for what change. Um, store name here. Good. So you can see this. It listens for change. It's wrapped in what OBX. So whatever we change, right, it just what updates that what immediately, right? So that's actually for that. Now, but you notice that you can you see this. So one of the things you can do is to also clear the controller, right? But I'm going to leave that up to you to play around with, right? You can clear the controller when you're done so that the input field is actually what's cleared. Okay. So that's that. Now let's look for, I say look for. So let's do the next one. What's the next one? Add followers. Okay, okay. So let's actually do for add followers, right? Well, let me see if I can reuse stuff, right? So I'm just going to copy this and make some adjustments, right? Add followers. So I'm just going to paste this. Then okay, so oh no, no, that's the wrong thing I copied. Change store name. Yes, this is what I needed to copy. Okay, so let's change a few things. So I'll just call this add followers. You can do this way, or you just click on F2 and I'll just say add followers, and I'll just update that on this file. So change this to add followers. Now we don't need I'm not going to use this, so don't need this for now. Let's just leave that out. So for the rounded inputs, right, I'll just say add, I'll just say follower name. Remember, this is just a hint, right? So what we're going to say store controller.d, we have a, I think, let's see, yeah, we have a follower what controller. So we are storing whatever the user is going to impute. This controller is going to actually what hold it, right? The controller will actually what hold it. So we have our elevated button. We'll still make use of that. Um, but we have the um add new follower, and add new follower basically just takes the name of the follower, right? That's just it. So let's say follower added for the snack bar, that's title. And here I'm just going to say new follower added, right? And then store controller dot, I want to know the follower, the what's the follower's name. So follower controller dot text, right? And so well the button, okay, let's say add, right? And let me just do this just because it kind of makes things look a bit um so all these are unnecessary container. Yeah, you can decide to just kind of can just decide to use a column instead because actually the container is unnecessary. Okay, so I'm going to just save that and then let's see for the follower. So follower is this, right? So let's yeah, I think I've done that. So I'll click on add followers. Okay, we haven't, kind of added those pages. So let's just add for all of them so that we do not waste a bit of we don't waste time. So I'm going to just do the so here add followers, add follower, right? And add follower, right? Okay. We have add reviews. So let's just add this stuff here so that I think the class is add review, or did we call it reviews? So let's see. Okay, I don't think we have created anything there. Yeah, I don't think we have created anything there. So STL add reviews. I think increment followers. Increment followers. Yeah, I think that's okay. Store status. Okay. STL. store status. Okay, so I can go back to main now and then add reviews. Okay, so we have increments, increments, followers. Um, we have increments, and yeah, store status. So let me just use this kind of store status, and then this is store status. Okay, so I think these are our pages. Five, one, two, three, four, five. Okay. So and then just go to the nav drawer. I'm just going to kind of copy this. So let's start with the first. Okay, we're done that. Then this. So you're going to be the one to close the. So I think this should be add followers. Okay, this one increment followers. So increment followers. And this is store status. Okay, so store status. And I think the last one, add reviews. So add reviews. Okay, so let's just save that to be sure we're good. Okay, so add followers. I think that's what we were working on. So yeah, so since we have added these pages, right? So we need to do a hot restart. We need to kind of restart things so that these pages are loaded, right? So let's do a hot restart. Okay, so yeah, I think that's done. So um okay, so let's see, add follower. Um the nav drawer, what did we use? Okay, we said add followers. Okay, so it's just one. Okay, so hopefully that should fix that. Yeah, so we have add follower, right? Okay, so how do we want to do that? Excuse me. So yeah, this is our add follower dot start. So still going to just kind of reuse this. So we have the add new follower. I think okay, we have already even done that. So let's see. So what I was showing you, let me just actually do that. You can actually do a store controller dot follower controller dot what's clear, right? There's basically that. Don't worry, I'll give you something else too. Okay, so let's say I want to add Collins. So I'm just going to click on what add. So you can see new follower Collins has been added. Let's see David, and then new follower David has been what added. So let's confirm that, right? So okay, we are not seeing anything here. Okay, we have some hard coded stuff. So let's actually go to our home screen, right? And make those changes. So it seems we had coded stuff. So let's see store name. Okay, so store followers, right? So this is this. So let me just use some yeah, okay, good. Looks better. Okay, so here we have after our store name, which is the whole of we have store followers, right? Which is this. We have um status, and then we have followers, which return a list, right? Should return a list of what followers. but you can see we just returned text 11, so we kind of had coded stuff, right? So let's, kind of do, do the right thing, right? So what we're going to do is, so with OBX, right? With OBX, so let's say we have an item builder, right? So let me kind of, so we have store followers. So we'll use OBX for just this one, right? But for this, we'll just kind of return, you know, just a list of, the followers that the users actually was typed in. So I'm going to say, instead of returning text 11, I'm going to return the text I'm going to return. So do we, first of all, we need to, okay, we have a control, okay, we don't have the store controller here. So I'm going to say find store controller, or you can actually just say controller. Did I type find? Sorry, find now. Let's say controller, just get dot find store controller. Okay, so we can now use that. And then so I'm going to say controller, right? Controller dot, we have a follower list. Now, let's go here. So we have a what follower what list, right? Now, how are we updating this list? How are we updating this list? So when I go here, you can see that we have this follower list dot assign all and follower list dot add what the name, right? So this our add new follower just takes whatever follower you add, and then it what puts it to a what list, so that we'll have a lot of followers, right? So that's basically what we are doing. So we are now calling this what list, right? This is the list, and it's an observable one. So um so we'll say, so I'm going to take out this const actually first. So controller list dot the follower list dot length. I'm going to take this out, don't worry, because what I want to call here, so that's not the actual spelling. Now let's take this out of here. So this is just going to represent the item what count, which represents the list, how many followers you have there. So to return that number, if it's 5, that means you have 5 followers, right? If it's 10, you have 10. Now, but for the actual value, so we get that by saying the list. Now in the list, we pass in the what index, right? Index. So we'll just run through the index and what gets the actual what name, and then we'll just convert to what string, right? So that's actually how you do that. Yeah, that's actually how you do that. So let's now let's add one. Add followers. So let's add Collins again. And Collins has been added. David has been added. So let's see if that gives us, okay, so it's not displaying. So let's see if we're missing something. Okay, follower list dot length. Okay. Okay, so yeah, we have not actually what observed this. So you see, we haven't actually observed this, right? Because the follower list is actually an observable, but we have not observed it. So we are not even listening to what changes, right? We're not listening to changes. So let's now wrap it, right? Just the list view builder. I think that ends here. So I'm going to now say OBX, and then just paste that there. Okay, good. So yeah, that should solve that, right? So let's try that again. Okay, so let's just see. Okay, so it's still not showing. Okay, so let's try to figure this out. Okay, so we have an OBX, a list view builder, okay, a list, okay, length, and then the text, right?
I think Index.name.
Oh yes, yes. Well,
Before,
no,
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 no.
not there, not at that point. Follower
Uh,
list as dot name, I think, if I'm not
no,
mistaken, before to
no,
string, I
no.
think.
It's actually a list. It's just a list, right? So we are basically iterating. So let me be sure that add follower. Let's check here. So adding a new follower. Okay, so this is it. We are using the wrong controller, right? We are using the wrong controller. That's why. So sorry, this should be follower. We copied and pasted. So yeah, we're using the wrong controller. Okay, so let's try that again. Let's try that again. That's the thing about copying and pasting. So let's see. Yeah, so that's actually that. So let me do something. It seems there are stuff here, but it's not. Let me see. I want to I want to clear that list just once first. Let me do something. Um, Store controller. Sorry. Store controller dot follower list dot um clear. Let's just do something. I want to be sure. So it will clear it first before it adds columns. So yeah, okay, good. But we don't need this again. That was just to I just needed a way to clear that list. Right. Okay, so yeah, it actually works. We were using the wrong controller, right? We're using the store name controller instead. So David, new follower added, which is David, and then you can see that. Okay. So yeah, that's for followers. Okay, so let's do reviews, right? Let's do reviews. So for reviews, we need two things, right? One to be able to get the name, right, and the review of the person, right? The name and then the review. So let me uh let me still copy this. I will try not to forget to change the controller. So F2, add review. I hope it's add review and not I just hope so. Let me confirm that. Okay, all right, we're good. Add reviews. Okay, so yes, here we are. So let's change this. Add reviews. So one first thing we want the name. We could say reviewer name, right? Or we could just say name, right? Whichever one, right? And then I want to, get the reviewers what input, what the reviewer is actually going to what type. So I'll just with a hint of, let's say, write review, write review. So let's see. Let's just add some space, right? Okay. So we can still use our button, right? So let's uh so first of all, what we want to do is we remember our reviews is we kind of have a class, right? This is for reviews, right? This is for reviews. So a review, of course, is going to be still give you a result. This is just like the model, a name and what's a review. And at some point, we have to get a list of reviews, right? So this is what I'm just going to do, just based on demo stuff, not because we're really building a serious project, right? I'm just going to say var reviews because we want to be able to get more than one. Okay, I'll say, let me just do something. Say store reviews rather. Now it takes a name and a what's it called? And a review. So for the name, I'm going to say store controller, right? dot review. Let's see. Yeah, we have a review name controller dot text. So to get that and pass in there, of course, it's now going to give us more like an object, right? And then review, same thing, store controller dot review. Okay, this should be review editing controller. This other one should be, the name. This should be the okay, yeah, review name. Okay, we're good to go. So let's change this. This should be review name so that we don't forget. And then review controller, review editing controller. Okay, so now once we now get that review, right, I can now say store controller dot add review, which takes a review. You understand? So it takes a review. So I'm just going to pass in reviews here, right? Okay, so snack bar, I'll just say review added. Um, um, review added by, so I'll say stock controller dot review name. Let's get the person's name. Review name controller dot text, right? And then we can clear, the controllers, right? Um, we have the review name, and then we can also clear the, review editing controller. Okay, so yes. So one thing I want to do, right, is the reason I'm going this route is because I want to, display. So let's see, where is our reviews, right? Let me save that. Okay. So yeah, so this is a reviewer name. This is to write a review. Now I want to display the review below here, right? I want to display the review. Now, basically what I'm doing is I'm just going to be adding stuff. So this is it. Below the elevated button, okay? So let's display the review below this place, right? Let's just display it under here. So I'm going to say OBX, right? Because I want to kind of see as I'm adding it, I kind of want to see it. List view builder, right? Takes an item builder, but before then, let's just set up stuff. Add our shrink wrap, set that to true. The item. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. So, sorry, where did you guys lose me, please?
Oh,
Hello?
hello. Yeah, at the point of setting up, yeah, before the item builder context and
Okay.
index.
Okay. I think that's not too far. So just basically creating the setting up the list view. Okay, so call that store reviews, right? So basically this is just going to be um our store controller, right? Dot the reviews. Okay. Now, but we're now going to do a mapping. right? So I'm going to say dot map. So we'll map this to our store reviews such that our model, right? Such that the name is going to be, we're using this, right? So I can just change this to review so that it kind of makes much sense. So I'm going to say get the review, it's going to be review.name. And so okay, let's not use review since it's let's just say item, right? So item dot name and then item, sorry, review here. It's going to be item dot review, right? And then of course we have to convert, do a dot to string, to list rather, right? Okay, so yeah, we're actually done. So the next thing is just to return. So let's just return a list style, right? Um, let's just return a list style that will be the title is going to be a text. And the text, we're going to get it from our store reviews, right? The index, right? Dot name. And then this is going to be the subtitle. This is dot review. Yep. And yeah, we're good to go. Okay, so let's see that. So reviewer name is, oh, sorry. Reviewer name is Collins and write a review. This is a Flutter class. Sorry, I know we're using stores. We're about, okay, let's stay in context. This is a good store. So okay, so we haven't okay, let's see on pressed that. So let's just confirm that our controllers are actually okay. So add review. Okay, store reviews, this. So on pressing that, it gets that, then calls the add review, and then a snack bar shows up. Okay, and then what next? Okay, okay. So let's see. So nothing happens when we click this. So let's find out why. So let me just do a restart. Let me do a restart just to be sure. Okay, then we can debug as we move. So add reviews. So this is a good store. Okay, so I think we're missing something. Let's figure that out. Okay. Okay, so reviews of add and then add reviews and get a snack bar. Okay. Set of find review name, review editing. Okay. So let's be sure that let me just print something here. Just to be sure that this button is actually being called. So let's be sure that the button is actually listening. So we know that, okay, fine. Okay. So I think it works now, but I'm wondering why it took that long of a time. Let's see. Shouldn't take that long. So let me check. Let's check our debug console to see what's happening. So when I click on So exception caught by gesture, okay. Converting object to an encodable this instance of story view. Okay, so we are having, that's the error we're having. So let's look at this. Um Story views, okay, okay, reading the text, okay, and then we are now adding the review. Okay, so let's look at our add review. Let's see what our add review actually what does, right? Now add review, it gets, okay, from our store reviews, okay, and our reviews here is an observable, right? And okay, so let's check our store reviews. Since we're having this issue here saying converting object to an encodable object is failing. So let's check this our store reviews here. Okay, so we have our copy. So let's
I
check our
think
JSON. Yes, go ahead.
at the point of write, there's a review where you had a write and a read.
At the point of
A write and a read. There's a write and read where a JSON the code will be used. I think not here.
just want to do some confirmation. I'm coming just okay. Just need to be sure that everything in review. Okay. Okay, so I think this looks good already. I don't think we are making any mistake. Okay, so let's go back to it. Actually add reviews where okay. Okay, so let's see this. Let's see this. So basically we are getting an instance. This gets test, which is the current string the user is actually editing. Okay. Because basic this error, okay. So I think we just need to do some coding. It's actually, hold on, let me see. Let's get back to our story views. Let me see our to JSON. Um, okay. Okay, so I I think I'm missing out something. Where is this? Do I need to, let's see. I want to see something because we already have this. So yeah, it cannot be because that's not what it is. So I need to, okay. I think the issue should be here. I need to figure out. So from JSON, we are getting. So this actually gives us. This converts it to a JSON name, view. Okay. Maybe I'll just have to use I don't want to use a JSON serializable. I want to actually use that. I'm trying to make this to just um okay. So let's see our mapping. Where are you? Where is the add views? Okay. Okay, so this could also be where the issue is. So let me see. store reviews. So okay. The list of store reviews and then so and go to map an item. Okay, this looks okay. Then we're converting it to a list. Okay, so let me see
Check
something.
the provider dot that. When I did something like that, provider dot that.
So the interesting thing is that it's just been added. It's actually been added, but it's just at the point of creating it. Yeah, that's where we're having that listen. So okay. Yeah, here we have to do serious debugging. I need to really check. So we need to check what is going on, right? So let's hmm, where is oh it's okay. But let me try something. Because this basically returns okay. Can you guys hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry, I think network kicked me out again. Sorry. Let me share my screen. Yeah.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Hello?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
confirm you
The
can see my screen.
Yes, I can see the screen now.
Okay, okay, good.
Yeah, because same method where it is actually throwing on my side, saying JSON unsupported object error, converting object to an encodable object field instance,
Okay.
and it's pointing us directly to the provider dot that provider dot that at
That's
the
where it's
point of
pointing
provider dot. Yes, from my side, I don't know.
from your own
It's
end.
Yeah. In
Okay.
provider dot that there is a void right review which comes with a list of store reviews and reviews. So I think at that point, I don't know if it's also the same thing with this one. Surprised
Okay,
also
so
that it's also happening at this point.
okay. Um, okay, let's look at this again. First of all, let's start from the store reviews. Okay, so looking at this, converting objects to an encodable field. So this basically just tells me that okay, we're trying to convert an instance of, in this add reviews, we're trying to convert this instance, which is this one here. We're trying to convert this instance to a JSON. What it seems that the method is not it's not handling properly. So uh okay. So let's see. Where is okay. Okay, I think I've seen the issue. Uh, has anybody, the issue is here. It is from between this line 18 to 26. Can anybody see it? Okay, so the thing is, we are trying to convert, like it actually said, it's trying to convert the object to an encodable object, right? We're trying to convert that instance to some to an encodable one, which is what the to JSON actually what does. But remember that this to J, like look at this from JSON, right? Um, we used this, which is from here, stop, and then, but to JSON, it's not taking us anywhere, right? And the thing is, the method to JSON is actually case sensitive. It's case sensitive, and I'm actually using a small letter. So I just okay, this is interesting. So this is interesting. So let's see. Uh, this is actually a very interesting one. Sorry, I want to make edit here. So let's say David. This is a very good store. So let me just clear this out. And let's add. So so that actually works. The only thing is that we have an overflow problem, but you can see David is a very good store. So that was the problem. So that was just the okay. So well, that's the interesting thing about coding, right? Just one tiny detail can actually keep you for hours, right? If you don't if you don't take time. Collins is laughing at me. Okay, so yeah, that's just it. Remember, we were just rushing, I was just writing code, and you don't know that you've made a mistake somewhere. Okay, so well, that's actually that, right? So but of course it's not updated, right? We're not updating it here. So let's kind of let's update it on the home screen, right? I actually like bugs though, right? They really, really help you. One thing bugs do is that it actually can help you to learn, right? So where's our home screen? Let's make the updates there. Yeah, so here we have the list view, the builder, and so instead of just hard coding this, right, I can just say, so the item count should just be controller dot reviews, sorry, reviews dot len, right? And then here, I'm going to say controller dot reviews, right? And then I'm going to get the index and then dot name. Okay, so invalid const value. Okay, yeah, let's take that out. So same thing here, but this time it's going to be the review. So let's just do this, right? Yeah, and then we're fine. Okay, so yeah, that's actually that for reviews, right? Our followers have disappeared because we, thought we'll create all of them again, right? So we have dealt with followers, we've dealt with reviews. We've actually done the change store name, right? So let's do status and then we'll do the increment follower last, right? So I would, kind of see how to implement both the OBX and the get builder, right? So for the store status, it's basically just a check. Unfortunately, I can't just copy code because we're going to use a checkbox. So let me return a scaffold, and just do this quickly. Abba title is text. So let's just say store status. Okay. That's just the only thing I want on the Abba. So for the body, I want a column, right? That okay, and then children. So let's just say put a text. Mm, okay, I think that's fine. And sized box just for spacing. Need this, let's say 16. And then we'll have a switch, right? So the value of the switch is going to be the value of the status, right? So I'm going to say, okay, so we need to get the let's so final, right? Yeah, can actually just do that here. So final, um, let's just use controller get dot find. Get dot find. So what are we looking for? The store controller. Okay, in a constant expression. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say controller dot the store status, right? So of course it's actually a switch is either true or false dot value because it's an OBX, right? You get the actual, information by calling the dot what value. Now so let's just do this. Now for the unchanged, so what happens when we change sorry. So I'm just going to say um so we have the store controller, which is just a controller. Dot we have store status. So we have something to change the store status, and then what we pass in is the value, right? So we can check that out here. Our store status, right? We're basically just updating the value, right? We have this store status here, right? So okay, I think that's okay. Um so yeah, let's just run that and then let's see what it looks like. Okay, so we have this, right? So we can switch, but let's kind of do something. It's looking weird. It's looking weird. So let me wrap this column in the center, and okay, let me just wrap this also in a container, then give it a padding of let's say 20 on all sides. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so let me give an active color for this, and then we say colors dot green. Oh, well, green makes much sense. Okay, so this is active now. So let's so the thing is we are not listening to changes, right? Remember, this store status is actually out an OBX. So we need to listen to what changes so that it updates the UI. So I'm going to call my OBX and then just paste this here. Save that. And now when I toggle, it updates the value, changes the UI, and then we can switch, right? So we can change. Okay. So at this point, it is open, right? And our status is open. But when we close it, right, it doesn't show closed here. That's because we are not updating this, right? So we need to go to our home. Um, there is the main. We have a main card. Okay, store info, uh, store status. So you can see we are just, kind of hard coding to the store status there. That's basically what we're doing. So we need to basically just update it to the actual value that it should be. And that's basically, excuse me, we're just going to do, we'll use a ternary operator here, right? I'm going to say the text, right? Remember, we're going to use the store status to determine whether it will show open or close. And the store status basically just gives us a Boolean, right? So I'm just going to say um, controller. Do we have a controller here? Yes, we do. So controller dot the store status, sorry, store status dot value, right? So if it gives us true, right? If it is true, what are we going to do? The text should be what? Open. But if it is false, right, it should be closed. That's actually that. So invalid const value. So yeah, let's take this out. Oh, okay. And I think we're actually putting it in the wrong place. So okay, hold on. Let me see. A flexible text, right? So I think well, okay. I think this is it, but I was using it to the wrong place. This is where we should actually have this. This is just a label, right? So yeah, this is where we should have this. I was wondering. So this is just a label, right? It's just a label. So it should still remain um status. Okay, so currently it's closed. So let's go open up. We need money. We need to sell stuff. So let's see. Okay. It's still showing closed. So we need to confirm. So let's see controller status. Okay. So go. Let me see something. So it's not okay. So yeah, we are also not listening, right? We are not listening to it. That's basically just that. We are not listening to it. So let's use this is too much actually, right? Using the get builder is actually too much of work here, right? But let's just use it, right? Let's just use it. I'm just going to so let's use a get builder for just this specific this particular text, right? Not everything. This is just where we need what we need to listen to. So I'm going to say get um so there are two things. Let me just show you guys this actually. This is also another um so can use this GetX, right? Okay. And then let's see our builder, right? So let's use so which should I use? Okay, well, Mm, which one? Okay, let's use this one. So now I'm actually going to, let me just paste this here, right? Let me paste this here. Um, expects an identifier. So the processor is unconditional access because receiver can be null. So yeah, let me see. The receiver, hold on, let's figure out. I'm thinking, hold on. So we need to figure out one of them is going to, we are going to have a null somewhere. So we need to prepare for that. Okay. So let's see. Oh, okay. Why am I using, how did I get there? So builder dot then the controller. So we need to um store controller. Right. So how did we? I know I've actually used the, so this is open. Let's see. Let's close it up. So it's still showing closed. So it means it's not listening as we expect. Um, something made me, I hold on. I've actually used the GetX before to do something like this, right? So let's try that. So if the value is open, okay, should be open and then closed. So yeah, okay, okay. I think so open, right? Yeah. So closed. Let's close it up. Right, yeah, so yeah, that actually works. So you can also use OBX too, right? You can actually, you can also use OBX, right? um so that's using GetX. I think I showed you guys, so something about GetBuilder. But of course, one thing about GetBuilder, if you remember vividly, we already have it closed. So I've gone to open it up. It's still closed. It's because when you're using a GetBuilder, right, you need to call the update method, right? You need to call the update method. But apart from using guest builder, you can also use getX, right? You can just use call the getX there and pass in the controller, because getX actually takes, controller, pass in the controller, and then to also listen to what changes. That's basically how powerful getX is, right? But you can also use your OBX. OBX will actually also work, right? OBX actually, it works also. Okay, so the last one, before our time goes, is the to increment the um, followers, right? To increment it. So we're going to use both GetX and sorry, GetBuilder and OBX for this, right? So let's kind of build this UI. So basically what I just want here is to, you know, kind of increase, I want to be able to just increase the follower count. That's all. Just want to increase it by myself, right? Using, a floating action button. So uh, let's say we have a scaffold and an app bar, which basically will just have an app bar that has a title, widgets, and let's just have a text that says increment followers, right? So, and then I'm going to have a floating action button, right? So, which is floating action button. There are a lot of them. You have the expand of large or small, but we'll just stay on one. Now, there are two things I want to do, right? When I click on that, right? I want to increase the followers, and then of course I want to update the follower count. Remember, we have a count here, right? So we need our controller. So let's final controller is going to be equal to get.find. So let's make sure get is imported. So get.find. And what are we looking for? We're looking for the store controller. Okay, so yeah, this shouldn't be a constant. So when we have it, on clicking on that, we use our controller to increment the what store what followers, and we have a method, and basically what it does is just what increases the what follower what count, right? You can see we have, this is the method, we have the store followers what count, which is also an observable variable, right? Or is it, hold on, so let's see, store follower count. Okay, so this is just a normal variable, it's not really an observable, so we're going to be using GetBuilder here, right? So where are you? I think I can close out this side reviews, store status. Okay, change store name, close out binding. Don't need this. We actually don't need this. And well, let's just leave that. We're done with reviews. Okay, so back here. So after incrementing it, what incrementing does is just to increase this value, right? But we also need to update the follower count, right? We need to update the what follower count, which is this, right? And basically, what the follower count is just going to be what the follower count dot value plus one, and this our follower count is an observable. So I created two things: store follower count and follower counts. The follower count is for OBX, okay? Is for OBX. They are the same thing, but it's for OBX, right? This one is still the same follower stuff, but this one is just a variable that will have to be calling the update function on with GetBuilder. So it's the same thing, right? The same variable that does the same thing, but I just want to call two of them. I'm just creating two of them to show how you can use OBX and how you can use GetBuilder. All of them is dependent on you. So controller dot updates follower count, right? Yeah. So that's what happens when we actually, kind of click on that. So it's a floating action button. We need to give it a child, which is basically just going to be an icon, which should be constant. So icons dot add, right? That just clears that. Now, so let's go to the body. Let's do that quickly. So I'm going to say, let's have a container that is going to have a padding of, let's just say 20, right? And the container definitely has a child. So I kind of want things to be centered. Let me just do that one time. And then basically the major thing we need is our column, which has children. Okay, so the first thing we need is the text, right? Let's just create a text there that will just kind of let us know what's going on. So I'm just going to say these followers have been added to your store. That's just that. I'm not really going to style any stuff, right? Okay, so after that, so we now need the actual value, right? So let's get the actual value. And of course, we're going to do it with in two ways, right? Like I said, the OBX and the GetBuilder. So using the OBX, right? I'm going to just listen, for this. So I'm going to, that's where we have, so I'm going to do the same thing we have here. I'm going to do it on that page. So I'm going to say with OBX, with OBS, with this observable, and yeah, let me just say that we have um let's say controller dot follower count dot value, right? And then we'll convert it to what, a string, right? So this is with OBX, right? And then with the get builder, right? With the get builder, we can still display, we can still listen for changes. And that's, of course, when you call the get builder, you pass in the store controller, right? And then our builder is going to, we need an instance of it, so we'll just call it controller, right? Or you can just, you can call it anything, right? You can call it store controller, or let's just, so that it doesn't actually use the same, get the same name as the other instance. So we know we're using this particular instance, right? So it's text, right? I'm just going to, let me just take this, right? To um, kind of avoid. So this is with get builder. All we just need to do is controller dot store follower count, right? So we don't need a dot value, right? And then to string expected an identifier. Um, I think we missed out something. So let's see. So that closes that. After that, okay, yeah. Okay, so this is what we have, right? Uh, yeah. So let's test this out. Which is to increment followers, right? So the major thing that's doing the work here is the floating action button, which we said we are basically calling these two methods to do the same thing, but of course, we are using two different variables. So when I click on it, you can see both of them are actually what's increasing. So whether you're using an OBX or you're using the get builder, because the get builder actually has the update method is actually what's called, right? So we have 10. But here I think we're still hard coding stuff, right? So let's just quickly update it, right? So that it uses the actual stuff. So on my home, here, excuse me. So let's see, store followers, which is this. So we have this text with OBX, right? We have this text with what, OBX here. So we need to wrap this with OBX. So I can basically just go and get that from there, right? And just use it, right? Let's say where this is no increments, okay. So I can just get this here, right? And then just put this here. Okay, so arguments of a constant must be okay. So first of all, yeah. Okay, so let's see. So with OBX, we have 10, right? Which is the actual value we have. This other one should not be here, right? And then with get builder, so I'm just going to pick that up from here. Just from here down to here. Okay. Okay, this is with get builder. So yeah, so you can see both of them they give us the same, the same value, right? They give us the same what value. Yeah, so that's basically right. I think this to a great extent should be able to, help you understand GetX. Now, there are a lot of other stuff that about GetX that we will learn, right? But we will pick them up as we go, right? As we start, building more complex stuff, right? So this is basically just more like an introduction to GetX. So yeah, I think this is where we're going to just round it up. So if you have any questions on GetX, we're still going to do a lot more stuff, right? But I think this kind of gives you, an idea on, GetX, state management, and then of course how you can, observe, changes, right, to your applications and get to update stuff. So yeah, any question? Of course, I think it should be clear.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. There. I don't know if I'm clear.
Go ahead.
Anyway, yeah, it is quite clear though, except for the aspect where you use the edit controller. I think the controller stuff for each of those changes at different fields. Can you just scroll up so that I can take a snapshot in my brain of what you did? Okay, okay. Controller dot store
uh,
name dot okay.
where on, okay,
Yeah,
in here.
yeah. This text here, controller dot store name dot value. At the point of update, that's where I want to see where we used the custom field called more like let's check at add let's check at add followers.
Add follower.
Yeah, so yep, this one. Yeah,
So
stock
basically,
controller.
yeah, your controller is just think of it. It basically the job of the controller is just to get that major job of the controller is just to get input from the
Uh,
user and hold it, and then you have access to use it. That's basically like the
uh,
major listen, work of the controller.
okay, okay, okay,
So whenever
okay,
we need it,
okay.
right?
So
So
it's
what
more
happens
like
here?
assigning it directly at the point of this. Okay.
So
Because
it's
what
not
I was actually thinking of was still to do that set state situation where you have to set a function and stuff like that. Actually, what I
okay.
used from this round and input was the on submit function that comes with this rounded input.
Okay, well, you don't
Yeah.
have to do that.
I
Controller
really don't.
actually just
Mm.
solves that for you, right? So, and the interesting thing about the controller, like I said, like I said, it holds the input values, and with that, you can do a lot of things, right? You can have situations whereby as you're typing, you're probably now displaying what's it called? Whatever it is you're typing somewhere, maybe on a pill or something, right? So that's kind of like what the controller helps you. So it controls, it's a controller. So it holds the input, whatever the user actually types in, right? It holds that for you to be able to kind of reuse it and to perform whatever function or listen you may want it to. Okay, Collins.
Okay, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I don't know if you still have time. I asked a question last week, and you said I should remind you today, so to briefly explain it. That's the MVVM and MVC architecture.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, I do we have time? I would have wanted us to actually look into it from a perspective of building an application. What do you think? Don't you think that would be best?
Yeah, I think it's better for me
Yeah.
to see it in practical aspects.
Yes, yes. Because the idea of MVVM is actually just more like it's like kind of like an architectural kind of thing, right? It's all about separation of, you know, concerns, separation of tasks. So it splits where you split the code base into three components, right? Your model, your view, and your view model, right? So you know what?
Okay.
That will be we'll look into that in our next class, right? So yeah, we'll look into MVVM in our next class in depth, and then we'll look at how to implement it in Flutter. Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll note that down. Yeah, so that we'll work on that. Okay. Any other question? Any other question? But please just remind me, call it. Maybe you can just drop it on the Discord so I don't forget. Not really part of what I wanted to do now. Okay. So in the absence of none, right? I'm going to let you guys know the task you're going to do. right? Though this will not be a task you submit like on the learning management system. You just, once you're done, you just drop it on the Discord. So we go through it and then understand and more explain a few things, right? But you will need the knowledge of what I'm going to give you in future tasks. So there are some slight stuff I'm going to require you to they are not slight basically. There are some modifications I'm going to tell you to do on this Storezy application. I'm going to push this so you can have this branch, right? So there are some modifications I'll require you to do on this application, you know, to follow best practices, okay? To follow best practices. So look out for that. I'll itemize it and then you can get right on it. So thank you very much for your time. And we meet on Thursday. Yeah, we meet on Thursday. Have a wonderful week ahead.